How has it all been like over the last few hours since the exam started?
Well, very smooth, pretty smooth, Mawina, and like the figures we just turned out, we're talking about 20% share from the Ashanti Region as far as the total national numbers are concerned. But let me also chip in this. Just a few minutes to this particular interview, we had a rather disturbing development from Duapompo M, where we are told by one of the teachers that one of their candidates could not write the exams because apparently he left to do illegal mining. And in fact, when he was asked, he said he was going to look for money. So he failed to sit for the BECE. He left to do illegal mining. That is the report that I have for you.
So what, students, some of the students
yes.
are...
Candidates, one student just abandoned the BECE just to go and do illegal mining, even though he registered for the BECE. But he said, I mean, the money is more important at this stage of his life than academic credentials. So he's left. That is Duapompo M, one teacher confirmed to us. So that is the development there, Mawina.
And outside of that, there have been checks by authorities, concerns about exam malpractice and the likes. What have been the engagement between the authorities and these students, even assuring them of the processes and all of that?
Well, so one particular person who has been encouraging invigilators to also understand that these are young lads, and sometimes psychologically, probably they are not as strong as maybe a SHS student writing WASI or university student writing final exams. So psychologically, they should also be a bit concerned or considerate. But this is how Dr. Franka Makwene, the Ashanti Region Minister, put it.
Definitely, exam malpractice is one of the key issues when you mention issues of invigilators. And I'm very sure that the do's and the don'ts have been spelled out clearly for them through their teachers while they were preparing them for this big day. I only plead on the invigilators that we should be gentle with them. You know, they are young and their psyche is not really matured yet. So in our attempt to getting them do the right thing, we shouldn't let it be in an atmosphere of fear. We should guide them as it were, so that they will be able to do what is right and also stick to the instructions as expected for the real exam. Again, we have encouraged the students that if you need to know anything, you should know it now before you enter the hall. The hall is not for group discussion. You can do all the group discussion outside of the hall, so that when they go in there, we wouldn't have issues of having to exchange materials and whatever. So we would not have any situations where results are in and others are having their results withheld and all that. So we have encouraged the students, and we know they will abide by the instructions. And also we're encouraging the invigilators to be gentle with them, so that the students will have a very serene environment to be able to process the questions and be able to provide the needed answers. Thank you very much.
Right, Evans, so that's the Ashanti Regional Minister. Just quickly on, we know that by now the first paper is done. Describe to us the mood like when they walked out of the exam hall, having completed the first of quite a few in the next few days.
Well, so very confident. I mean, some already, marking their own papers, say that they've already won that quote-unquote battle. But hey, I mean, there's one thing writing. It's one thing also meeting the marking scale. So they sound very confident. We can only just wish them the very best of that.
Right then, Evans, thank you very much. That's William Evans Inkum, my colleague, providing details there for us. But we're staying on the BECE right now.
Indeed, we are. We're headed now to the Western region, where the Director of Education, Emmanuel Esuman, has issued a stern warning to teachers to conduct themselves with the highest level of integrity in the ongoing BECE. He warned that any teacher found guilty of examination malpractice will be handed over to the law. Meanwhile, Rama Smith reports that a total of 22,564 female students have registered to write this year's exams, while their male counterparts number about 21,988. Here's more from Irama.
44,544 students are currently registered to write the BECE examination. We started this morning with the social studies paper, and out of this we have 1,411 schools from the Western region representing. Among the 44,544 students, we have 576 more female students writing the exams. Earlier this morning, I went to the Takoradi Technical University Exam Center where I interacted with some of the candidates, and their expectations were very high.
Expecting to write everything that I know to get my first choice.
Expecting the atmosphere to be cool, silence, and I also expect our students to comport themselves.
We are just expecting that everything will go well for us.
We later on caught up with the education director for the Efia Kwesiminti Municipal Assembly, that is Gloria Baini Goto, and she indicated that due to the preparations that they've had with the students, she believes that they will just sail through and everything will run smoothly.
We expect that this examination will be very much successful because the candidates are very much prepared. They have written a series of mock examinations and then their own school mock exams. Apart from that, I told them that from KG to this level, they are written series of internal examinations, and this is just one of them.
The next center was Ahantman Senior High School, also here in the Second D Takoradi Metropolis, but more of Second D. And over here too, the exam was going on smoothly. They were already writing the papers. We caught up with the education director, and he has issued a strong warning to teachers to stay away from any examination malpractice, because anyone caught will be handed over to the law.
For us teachers, our role and responsibility, make sure we teach the right thing so that the student will be confident when they enter the examination room. It is against our code of ethics that you are not allowed to. So I stand to be corrected that some teachers who were caught with these issues, they are handed over to the police doing further.
Rama Smith with that report. And the Ghana National Association of Teachers says it will not shield any invigilator caught in the upcoming BECE, or now it's started, exam engaged in any malpractice. Speaking exclusively to our Labour Affairs correspondent, Thomas Tanko Musa asked the invigilators to be circumspect in their work.
The Basic Education Certificate Exams BECE will begin on Wednesday, June 11 across the country. Some 4,000 students are to participate in exams, while more than 1,000 invigilators have been recruited for the exercise. Over the years, some teachers recruited by the West African Examination Council (WAEC) for invigilation have been involved in exam malpractices. In 2024, 16 invigilators were busted for engaging in examination infractions, while in 2023, 2 teachers were arrested. In this year's BECE exams, the Ghana National Association of Teachers (GNAT) says it will not shield any teacher caught in malpractices. General Secretary of GNAT Thomas Tanko Musa asked the teachers to be circumspect in their work.
You are there to invigilate, to make sure that the students account for their stewardship. Don't engage yourself in anything more than what you have been asked to do in the examination room. Because if you don't take time and you are also caught, you may not be able to, the consequences might be dire for you. So please, all those WAEC have invited to come and help to invigilate, stay out of trouble.
Another major concern to GNAT's General Secretary is the consistent leakages of exam papers. In 2021, 10 out of 20 examination papers were leaked, resulting in cancellation of those papers. Available figures again show that exam malpractices have increased more than 200% for the past 5 years. Ahead of the BCE, Thomas Tanko Musa cautioned WAEC against any leakage.
All the government officials and the police people who will be helping from tomorrow, please, we beg you, let us all as stakeholders work together to ensure that this examination is free from any trouble. We don't want to hear that this one happened here, this thing happened here. No, let us all work together as a team to ensure that our students write the exams in free and fair environment and to the best of their abilities.
Meanwhile, he has asked the BECE candidates to avoid introducing foreign materials into the exams hall.
As you enter into the examination room, don't go into the room with any foreign material. Give out all the materials that are on you. Set yourself well and give any other thing out, all the things out. Go into the examination room with only materials that have been permitted by WAEC.
Right, and we're now going to bring you a bit more in terms of the numbers. We've heard 20% in the Ashanti region. What's the total number? We've mentioned over 600,000. Let's break it all down for you right now, because it's been a big step for a number of these 600,000 BECE candidates whom were learning. One has abandoned the exam to go and what? Mine illegally. Let's try and walk you through what the numbers are exactly this morning, as well as even they finished the first of the many that we're expecting them to be writing this particular afternoon, and walk you through really what the details are. And so this is the total number, but always, like we're learning from Evans, not everybody avails themselves to write the exam. And so 603,328, that's the number of students who've been registered for the exam. I can confidently say 603,327 based on what Evans told us, but that's just by the way. For the third year running, we're seeing more female candidates than men. So for the males, 297,250, that's 49.25%. Then a lot more women, 306,078, constituting some 50.75 of the total number of candidates seated and writing this year's exam. Let's bring you the top 5 most populous regions by numbers, and that's been led by Ashanti Region, which we already know constitutes or is accounting for 20% of the entire numbers writing this year's exam. We're seeing more females in that category as well, 60,460 female candidates as against 58,894 males, and it runs in that particular direction all through in terms of the numbers in the respective regions. The Greater Accra follows next with the highest number, the Central Region, Eastern, and then Western Region as well. The number of centers we're seeing write the exams today, 2,237. That's the total number of exam centers we have today. And then there are private candidates as well. And so there are 15 private centers where the exam is currently happening at. Let's talk exam logistics finally. We have in 20,395 participating schools. We've told you about the exam centers already. We're expecting 2,237 supervisors, 2,237 supervisors, and then the invigilators, whom GNAT have been warning to be wary, not to be caught engaged in any exam or practice, 21,206. And so those are the numbers for you in terms of the candidates and the number of persons writing the exam this afternoon. Let's bring you a bit more stories right now.